with Michael Padurano. So your family's Italian?
Yes. Yes, they
You
are.
there with me? I
Um,
think it glitched
yeah, I'm here.
immediately. Oh, okay.
I think I
Okay.
think you're. Well, I don't see myself glitching. Um, but my dad's Italian. My mom was Jewish, and they grew up
Okay,
in.
I'm gonna try to back
All right, you there?
to the other one. So it's gonna.
Okay. Hey guys. Um, Here we go. All right, we'll just keep going with this.
All right, I'm back now. Yeah,
All right.
I can't ever figure out which network works better because I've got like two. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey,
But regardless, should we tag the people that were engaging on the post on the live
yeah,
stream?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okie dokie.
Because I'm on my phone, so if I do that, I think I'm gonna lose this.
Oh, that might be why it's glitchy too, because I've not had trouble when people use their computer, but I think on the phone it does cause problems. But either way. Wow, that post got really good engagement and I didn't even notice it. It's pretty cool. All right, now I gotta find myself live. So you want to talk about your day while I do that?
Sure. Today was a regrouping day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Over the past 2 weeks, I've been going through a lot of processing and releasing, and breaking a long-term karmic cycle. Uh, a karmic cycle is something that carries from life to life and carries over, follows your soul. And this is an extensive one, and this one has uh, tortured me for thousands of years. Um, and so as I've been breaking this karmic cycle, I've been processing and releasing a lot of stuff. And it's been very difficult for me to break. It's been very hard for me to go through. I've been extremely emotional. I've been angry. I've been upset. I've been like, it takes all extremes when you go through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And easy to turn around and run from it, which is normal tendency. Um, but
People like to do run away.
pretty much, and I did it for years. And this time,
There's all kinds of ways to do it too.
yes, there is. And this time I'm through because it needed to happen. And this lifetime is very important. And I need to be my best self, my truest self, and embrace myself fully, step into who
In
I am.
fact, I would say we all need to, and that's what is happening. And it's kind of, it's interesting, like having caught that tail end of your guys' talk, you and Reggie, because this isn't something that is random that's happening right now, that everybody is awakening. Even though most awakened souls are awakening deeper. And those who thought it was a bunch of woo-ha mumbo jumbo to begin with, being awakened, are also awakening. And so it's kind of beautiful in that way. Like every single soul on this planet has at least the opportunity, which we already did, but because so many people are awakening all at once, there is, like Reggie was talking about, momentum. Like there is a momentum shift that's happening right now. And every single conversation that all of us have around these topics is only going to awaken people more. And even like dealing with the pain is part of the process, which you already know, of course. But like it's weird, but being in pain and allowing yourself to be is actually like the most productive thing that any of us can actually do whenever we're in a bad place. And that whole beating ourselves up thing over it is just never going to do us any good. So hopefully you at least have been able to like deal with the pain without the like annoyance of dealing with the pain, because I know that feeling very well. And what would you say you have? Would you say you've been able to like cope through that while also like giving yourself grace to cope through it at the same time?
No, not at all. Nope. I beat the living shit out of myself at all times.
See,
Um,
that's a huge thing. That's a really
it,
huge
it,
thing.
it makes it so much worse.
It makes it so much worse. Yeah.
It becomes almost self-torturing. And because of my life experience in this life, I've always had a worth issue and a self-worth issue. Um, so my first instinct is to bury myself, right? Is to take self, to blame myself for everything, and to because if I make myself the target, then nobody else can make me the target, and that's something I've been working through, and it's something I see for what it is, and it's because it's years of being programmed that way, right? Like I'm 41 years old, I'll be 42 in a few months,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's and my whole life I've been that way. So it's years of reprogramming that I've been going through over the last, 9, 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a process. I mean, this doesn't happen overnight, right?
No, God, no. It doesn't matter where you're at with it all. It's like nothing happens overnight at all.
No.
Got
And
someone asking if they can join the video.
who is?
Donna J. Donna J. Yes. Hello, Andrea. What would you like to share with us? We're going to get really, really deep and very spiritual. So if you know yourself and are open to that, I am open to that. But if it's something that you're not like sure about, then maybe another time would be good for us to schedule a call and we could
Who,
talk
who,
about
wants,
whatever.
who wants to get on?
Right here, I've got his name up. ADV Dhananjay R. Gongawane. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
I don't know that person.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know either, but I know I've recognized his name for popping up on through my network, so I want to be open. But we can also schedule a call for us to separately come on at some point.
Anybody can join. I don't mind, right? It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
Um, most of the people that I tagged are in this experience themselves, right?
yeah,
And they're going through this journey. And one thing that people need to know is when they're going through this journey that you're not alone, right? And being alone is the scariest part of it, right? Because these are personal battles and struggles.
or being lonely. Because being alone can actually be quite nice, but we just have to be able to like have that good grace again. But if you can't, if it's really, really difficult to do that, then it's not, well, it is really difficult to do it no matter what. But like, there's a difference between being alone and lonely, is what I'm trying to get at. And when
Oh,
you're lonely, that's the thing that sucks. Like, seriously sucks.
100%. And I meant alone in the journey. I didn't mean
Yeah,
alone in.
that's true. It starts with you and it ends with you. Absolutely. Like, you're
So,
alone. We're alone here. It doesn't have to be terrible, but we are alone.
right. And I mean, I'm physically alone, but I'm not alone in the journey, right? Like,
Right.
and there's alone from physically being alone for 11 months, but it has nothing to do with the journey that I'm not alone on. And the key is to, the key is to find your people, right? Find the people that can resonate with you and the people that understand, that empathically want to be there with you and for you and want to take the journey with you, right? And the key to that is when they want to leave the journey, you have to let them leave too.
Oh, that's the part that fucking sucks. Okay, see, here I am with my resistance. It's hard. It's hard because that's what I've been coping with. Like, I have been coping with a recent breakup. It's been very painful. Um, you know, a person who we had a very deep soul connection. We didn't have like I get tempted to say that, but it's not true. I wanted to say that we didn't have like heavy conflict, but we clearly did if he was having conflict with himself and wasn't able to give me the grace that I thought I was receiving, but I was not. So that's, I'm a harmony person. So I really want to be like, but all was okay, but it obviously wasn't okay if it ended like the way that it did, you know?
But again, right, we can't judge ourselves too harshly, right? We can't judge them, we can't judge ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Every,
And I don't
every,
judge him. I really
and
don't.
I do. I judge her still, but that's just me.
Well,
But
there's your
but I'm working.
circumstances are also different. I mean, there would be like the way that our relationship broke off was that first of all, we don't have children together, so there's nothing binding us for really. It's there's a level of independence that is like it's just there that's not there for you because you have children together. Like that's just
No,
fact.
we don't. No, we don't. This was
Oh, you
separate.
don't?
Oh
I
no,
made that assumption. My
no, no, no,
apologies.
no, no, no. You're fine. This was separate than that. The connection was part of my karmic cycle, and
Mm.
it was very deep, many, 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 many lives, and it was torturous. It was at its best, it was the most amazing thing on the planet, and at its worst, it was torture for both of us. And we either brought out the best or the worst in each other at times, because at times I resisted, at times she resisted, and it when you're in that type of situation, in the mix of it, it's hard to step back and look at it until you remove yourself from it. And moving myself from it allowed me to process the way that I needed to process,
Mm-hmm.
the way I needed to release it and break the karmic cycle, which is very important because it's almost like being trapped in your own personal prison, right?
We are our own jailers. Mm-hmm.
100%. And it was so deep on every level that it was overwhelming. And breaking it was beyond difficult, like beyond, but it was also necessary. Um, and again, I mean, things are temporary, things are permanent. You just never know. But the cycle had to be broken first. Um,
Absolutely. I definitely relate to that in that sense. And I'm glad, even though it's been very painful for both of us, that we're both going through that because, you know, I'm here to end all cycles of abuse, no matter what. And if a relationship can feed into a person's self abuse in whatever way, that's still abuse. So whether that person is actively abusing, which happens a lot, like to whether they're abusing you or they're abusing themselves, whatever we can do to break the cycle is what I'm here to do. I know that very clearly. And that like my past life regression made it so much more clear. Like on levels that like I mean, we're gonna dive all into that. But one thing that I find really interesting about it is that I also manifested it. Like I manifested that experience, and I didn't know that I was going that I was manifesting it necessarily. I wasn't like, okay, right now I'm going to focus on having a past life regression session like come to me. Like I didn't think that at all. But I was in my spiritual space while I was writing and was able to like just be true on paper. And that has to do with my past life also, which is really interesting. Um and because I was tapped into that, I think that this had to do with that. So like we had that conversation, you and I, about like when I think like the first conversation we had, um, and you know you shared with me that you have had all these past life experiences and that you know that very vividly for yourself, and then you know I was definitely curious about that, and I was thinking about what that means in context to my life too, because it's something that's come up so many times, my karmic cycle, and like being curious about it, not knowing the answers but wanting to know more. And I always just trusted like with divine timing I would be presented with that, and that's what's happened. um but like I've got the journal entries that I've been writing recently in here, and I'm going to read it, and a few different things for before I read the actual past life regression, if that's okay with you, because I think that it all builds up on itself, and I haven't like read it in that way, and I really want to. So I wish I remembered which day this was, but it was okay. This was the first day of the new moon cycle. Hello, Mike. Columbo in the comments saying hello. I'm about to start reading. So this was the first page of the new moon cycle. I had gone through. I had done like a goddess ceremony with a few women who like have all individually shared their different pain bodies and things that they're dealing with. And we did what is a karmic cycle? It's a good question. Michael, do you want to explain that? I know you said it before, so you could say it. I like the way you said it. So
Karmic cycle is attached to your soul. It's from one of your past lives, or many of your past lives. In my case, it's a lot of past lives. And it's when you make an action or a conscious decision to go against whatever your purpose is during that lifetime.
right.
And you keep fulfilling the same karmic cycle.
Yeah.
And it basically perpetuates and gets worse every life.
Mm-hmm. So basically inauthenticity. Like whenever you're living a life of inauthenticity and you know that you should be doing something else, like you know what your purpose is, but you're choosing to not do that thing, that is just like feeding into your negative karma, basically. And the karma accumulates over lifetimes. And then as we continue being incarnated, we basically can screw ourselves over. Andrea says, wow. And Jara says, hello.
Hey, Jaris. Hey, it's okay. So for me, and I can describe it, I have no shame in it, right? I always picked a woman over my purpose. And it was always the same woman since our first life together. And I kept
meeting and you keep falling into the cycle.
Yes. Even if I didn't end up with her, I still chose sacrificing myself over choosing my path. And it became this enormous, just self-fulfilling prophecy after a while, right? Where I just would give it all up, whether I ended up with her or not. And this is the first lifetime that I walked away from the situation to walk my path.
You broke the cycle.
Yes. And
you're breaking the cycle actively.
Right. Yes.
That's why it's painful.
Beyond. It's like, I describe it as ripping out part of your soul with a spoon.
And I think that's a good description. But because you're choosing what's in line with your purpose, that's an impermanent feeling. Like, I guarantee you that. It's not going to always feel like that. Because the more you become in line with your purpose, it actually becomes very liberating. It becomes very freeing and exciting even. Like one thing you guys talked about on your live, you and Reggie, was like, nobody wants to do this. I want to do this. I'm at a point where I want to do this. And I don't say that to be like, oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't mean that at all. And I can say that fully from the bottom of my heart, because there was a point in time where I was resisting. Like, I don't want to do this. But something about the way that this relationship broke me open. Like, I think I really resonate with what you're saying and choosing the other person over me up until this point also. And I don't know enough about like my other past lives to be able to, like I said, last night, or was it last night? I don't even know. Like every single moment has been so many realizations, but last night was my first past life regression. So I experienced my life in the past now, and I am related to it. Like I know that was my soul. Like that was my spirit. I actively woke up to it. And so the reason why this breaking off of this romantic relationship has been so painful, but also so liberating, is because I feel free. Like I've been singing it. Like I've been singing to myself, like, tell me why I get dumped. And the next morning I wake up and I'm just like, free, free. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, enlighten me. Like that's what I'm singing all day long. And I was dumped. Why? Because I'm ready for that. And I think that Reggie's right. Like this is going to be a great conversation. So to give so go ahead.
I think in my case specifically, because of the entanglement and the amount of times it's been entangled,
Mhm.
it frees both of us in a
Yeah.
it doesn't mean the paths won't cross again in this lifetime. It doesn't mean that the paths won't cross in a different lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It right now it gives us both an opportunity to take our own path, what
Mm-hmm.
we're meant to take, and where that goes from here is just following our path.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Nobody.
Well, I mean, I've
No,
seen many.
literally no.
I mean, I've seen many of my paths, but
But you still don't know. Nothing you know for certain. There's nothing we know for certain.
no, because the reality is, even if I can see something today, it doesn't mean that it's the same thing tomorrow, right? Any single decision changes that.
It's like literally not the same.
Right.
Like our perceptions of everything change. And so like and it builds like our memory of something actually um like changes as we experience. So thanks, Jarvis, for saying sing away. I am. I'm like I literally feel free in so many ways that I used to beat myself up. And that's the thing. Like that's the resistance. If we can surrender entirely, like literally I'm talking, arms open on the ground, and instead of asking why God, why me, just being like, give it to me. Like I accept it, whatever it is. There's something I'm supposed to be gaining from this clearly because you keep giving me all of this pain. Like accept it as the gift it is. The gift of adversity is very real. And trust me, I'm not tone deaf whenever I say that. I'm very aware of the pain and the injustices and the just straight up oppression that like colonization has created. And in this past life, I understand a role that I have not myself played, but like literally my family. So it's not something that I'm like, and I knew it was my fault too. That's the thing. Like, and I'll explain all of what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that the moment that we surrender to our own life's narrative, like our own path, the whole journey, like when we fall in love with that, it doesn't matter how many times it feels like you're getting kicked in the gut or in the teeth or whatever, or if your spoon soul like is nail driving you or whatever the fuck is happening. Like there is a way to find gratitude in it still. How does one connect to their past lives? See, this is a great question, and I connected to mine through Clubhouse, so that's why I'm like, okay, this app is actually crazy. Not gonna lie, and I'm not like hardcore
okay.
rep
So
it.
let me answer that question real quick,
Yeah.
Andre. Go to the other half of a squared, and you'll have that answer. She'll know exactly what that means.
Okay, that's interesting. I want to know what that means.
Somebody that it's
A
another
squared
person.
B squared equals C squared. We're talking. Yeah.
It's another person I introduced you to.
Oh,
It's
I
not
thought we were
person.
talking about Pythagoras.
Oh.
Okay, that's good to know. Now I know. Okay, so this is the first thing I wrote 2 days ago. 3 days ago. I feel portals opening. My angels, which aren't mine, have hovered over me and pieced me back into my body to step up as the eternal observer, pure conscious witness to my being, all high power, rid of ego, all epitome of acceptance, never attachment, no longer henceforth. I am an enchanted being. I am enchanted by being. Meek humility, inheritance, the earth. So basically, I was writing into instance, my ability to rid myself of all emotional attachment. That was the first day. And I've been also singing a mantra that is literally like, it basically says like, infatuated with emotional attachment. We have trouble here believing that liberation is now, or that, and we believe enlightenment is too far away. But the reality is it's here right now. We just have to be able to accept it and release the emotional attachments. And yes, like the momentum is shifting in the right direction. And that's what I had commented on your posts today, was ways that I have awoken to that truth. And the momentum is shifting in a very physical way, like quantum physics kind of way. Like, it's not just a metaphor, although metaphors are great, and there's metaphors in everything. There's metaphors in my past life experience, but like, this is a very real thing, and we are shifting toward the light. And so what this is light work. We have chosen actively the path toward light. And not all conscious beings choose that either. There are people who actively choose the darkness. And I'm still dealing with coping with that. But it's true in my gut, I think, at least. Do you have any insight before I read more?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
I'm admiring.
So in the next day, I woke up, and this was my the past few days. I've woken up. I don't set an alarm for myself. I allow myself to wake up whenever I need to. And usually I sleep in a little bit lately, at least. But the past few days, I've been waking up like right at 8:30, just like my prime time to wake up. Like I find I have great days that way, and my body naturally was doing that. And I woke up 2 days ago, and immediately I just heard in my mind fear and desire. And I was like, okay. So I picked up the pen and I wrote fear and desire. My past self misunderstood, believed the opposite of love to be fear. It is a fitting misunderstanding for my soul's journey, because my higher self state of being, energy flows as a conduit, holding space for compassion and heightened emotional intelligence to heal directly from the divine source. Another part of this beautiful soul journey is to awaken as the observer that love actually transcends polarity. This is crazy to me. I didn't write that, but this is crazy to me. Love actually transcends polarity. Oh yeah, I already said that. My past self was blind to seeing this truth. My past self misunderstood, did not yet know. Polarity is a condition of the mind. We cling to the body out of fear and desire and believe mind is all. To surrender now, to notice all, to awaken as the observer, nothing to cling to. Blockage to the highest being. Blockade, shadowing light. The mind is not all. The mind is an environment which trades and barters fear and desire to grow toward emptiness. Love is to surrender to being. Mind cannot do this. Body cannot do this. Only soul can be here now. Infatuated with emotional attachment, we tend to believe love as an agent which relates to fear and desire. We are misunderstood. Simply put, desire is being in the classroom, exposed to the possibility of more in life, institutionalized hedonism. Fear is being in detention, shamed away from being somewhere that the soul didn't really want to conform to in the first place. Love is summer vacation. Desire is what mind and body crave. Fear is what mind and body avert from. Love transcends beyond to a state of being where the two related polar opposites are irrelevant. Who gives a shit about the classroom or detention when it's summer vacation? Nobody. My past self would cling to anything. Mind and body ruled. So it was easy to escape into vices and devices. My egoic past self played on loop, convinced. The opposite of fear was love, convinced that love was desire. Emotional attachment, scarcity. Being love, abundance, transcendence. Here I am, I surrender. Like, this is why I want to do the work. Because when I do the work, it ends up coming like this. Like, this is what I discover about myself. And it's amazing. Like, I might be crying while I write it, but looking back on it, like, it doesn't help just me. Like, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate, they're not my words. That's the part I want to drive home. I'm the one who put the pen to paper. I don't claim it as my own. It's my art. Like, I'll sign my art when I paint a painting. I'll sell it. I got to eat food. I got to pay rent, right? And I'm a human. Like, I want to have a career and everything. Obviously, I'm here right now. But the reason why I'm doing it is because once I write that. And if I can share that with others, it really speaks to them. And it speaks to me too. So I'm glad that you feel that way. But I want to make it clear that it's like, I'm not going to be like, thank you so much. Like, I studied poetry and blah, blah, blah. No, like, I didn't. And
You're channeling your higher self, and
absolutely. It's my
the
mission.
way that the way that your higher self is communicating is that so that it's relatable to others, and it's coming through in a way that others can easily understand,
Mm-hmm.
and it's giving people a path to follow, and
Mm-hmm.
you are basically creating an outline for others to follow. Um,
Absolutely.
it's one of your gifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your willingness and your strength to push through it and overcome and go through it is your sacrificing gift to others, right?
And I'm channeling that wanting to give while simultaneously releasing the need to cling to anything at all. And there's a difference. There are different ways to give yourself. And most people give to receive. Most people really do. And that's neither good nor bad. It's new, everything is neutral. Like, it's neutral. But I don't want to live a life that's neutral, personally. I want to live a life for light, period. And so I know that that's my mission and I know it's my gift. And so that's what I choose to do every moment of the damn day. And sometimes it doesn't look as pretty as others. Like, I promise that. But a lot of the times it does, because that's another part of, like, astrologically, I am very much like, and I only say astrologically because it's also a clear explanation if anyone in the, like, audience relates to that. Like, I value, like, my Venus is in Libra, which means, like, I value or I love, like, beauty and like harmony, and I seek balance. And that matches, like, my art making and all of that stuff. So that's the day before. No, not the day before. I wrote that yesterday morning. That's what it was. Yesterday morning, before my past life regression, I wrote this the moment I woke up. And that's what I was talking about. I was talking about my past self. I was talking about emotional attachment and releasing it and all of that stuff. And then I went on Clubhouse to talk about it for the first time. Wait, were you amazing humans talking about me, Michael? And more.
Hey, Anna, how are you? I figured this would be a good conversation for you to listen to, Anna. You'll figure it out if you hang in there. Um, Look, what you're going through right now is magical.
I know. Sorry.
Most 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 people never experience that in a lifetime, right? And you're fortunate enough to experience at a young enough age that you can impact the rest of your life from it, and as well as impact others in your age group, right? It's I don't know how generations work, but I think I'm 2 generations ahead of you. I have no clue. I'm 41, so whatever that means, right? Like
I'm like,
I still can't figure out even what generation I am because it makes no sense to me. I don't fit in anywhere, so that's fine. But what you're going through is a gift, and you're honoring it as one, which is why it's, as much as it is painful, as much as it is painful, yes, it is, as everything always is.
mhm.
As much as it's painful, just painted your whole body with marker.
Yes, that's amazing. Can I see?
You want a shirt on?
Tyler,
Okay.
can I see your marker?
You want to come see the marker? You want to show Karina your marker?
I used to do that all the time. She's an artist.
Stand here, stand here.
And he's an artist. It's me. Oh my gosh, you look
It's everywhere.
Beautiful.
Her feet,
You look
her feet are
so
covered. Okay, okay, Sid, let's get a shirt on you real quick. Come on, baby. This kid. There's not a life that goes by without her making.
Saying that, Michael, you keep saying this kid, dang it. She keeps doing it. Guess what? I was doing the same exact thing when I was that age. So if the soul path is saying anything, that's a possibility for your child to go through this very unique experience. So
okay, stop growing out of your clothes. Sorry. Wow, I sound like my parents. Stop growing. You're growing out of your clothes. You're too hyper. Running. You're fine. Wear yourself out, please.
She's the artist. See, that's what I'm saying. You're lucky. Trust me, I was terrible. I was a terrible child. I was awful. And the teen years, good fucking luck. Like, seriously.
I was terrible. But that's a different story.
Just wait till the 20s, though.
Maybe. Let's take it one day at a time. Look, what you're going through is a gift. And you are honoring it as one, which is why it keeps coming.
Yeah.
And that is the true gift. Because as long as you keep honoring what you're doing and you express it in a creative way, it's going to keep flowing from you.
Yes.
Even me, I stop myself from allowing it to flow. I'm very stubborn. Like, very stubborn. It's hard to love you, Joe. It's hard to keep letting it go.
That's the whole thing, though. It's all literally every moment is about letting go. Every single moment.
It is. Frozen had it right. Who would have thought?
Frozen had it right. Well, I mean, Disney then went on to create Soul, so maybe they know what they're doing. I mean, hopefully.
Sid, where'd you find that lollipop?
Oh my God, no.
In Michelle's jacket?
Yeah. Oh.
Never mind. Go in the room. I don't want to know. Go in the room. I don't want to know.
The jacket. Oh, it's got some
Go wash it.
Fuzz
Go
on
wash
it.
Go wash it in the sink in the bathroom. I can't do it. I'm live. Go get Michelle.
Hair?
Go get Michelle. She'll help you. Now she's yelling for Michelle.
That's amazing. It's where she's at. It's where you're at. You got to let it go.
I'm telling you, I'm trying. It's fun juggling 3 kids while going through this.
Of course. That's part of it. Wouldn't be a challenge if it wasn't really challenging. Like, that's the whole thing. But you know what you said to me when we had our first conversation, which has really stuck with me since? I'm a real big fan of giving people their own advice.
I know. We're all mirrors. Stop
trying. You said I'm trying to let go.
I'm so good at that.
You can't try to let go. You just do it. Like, you just let go. You can't try to stop resisting something. You just stop resisting.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like Mark the Shaman now. He tells me to be lazy because I try so hard. That's what he
I don't
says. He
know
goes,
about
be lazy.
lazy.
Well, that's how he just to ease me.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so high functioning, maybe.
Yeah.
Rest a little bit. We need
You're the lollipop. Go play with your Barbies. Your Barbies miss you. There you go. Cool. Don't run with a lollipop. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Running with the lollipop. I get it.
Parenting. What? Your iPad died? So plug it in. So play out here.
I'm trying to hear what she's singing.
Huh?
I'm trying to hear what she's singing. Do it or not, there is no Triota. One of my favorites.
Way to go, Yo. Kelly's Odette.
That's
Kelly is. There's that beauty. It's officially a book.
That's amazing.
Andrea Sanchez keeps a book of quotes. And
really?
Yeah, she does.
I like that.
It is so awesome. I'm pretty sure I introduced you to her too, I think.
I'm pretty sure as well. And if not, we're definitely introduced at this point. So thank you.
Anna, I didn't introduce you yet though.
Well, now I'm introduced to Anna, so even better.
Yeah. Anna, reach out.
Wonderful.
Jairus, reach out.
I already reached out to Jairus. I was happy to see him on your vulnerability talk. That's pretty cool. All right. Should I share the past life story?
Yes. Continue.
So first I'll explain a little bit. The King Introducer, that I definitely am starting to figure out. So I'll give context as in the beginning part, just because it might like help some people listening if they are interested in like on this past life regression thing, as Andrea had mentioned. I wrote past life regression, and then I drew the meridian. Which paper? Out here. The meridians is what he guided us through. The meridians are like the chakras of the different levels of our energy fields of our bodies. So we've got the sacral chakra. Is the root chakra first, or is the sacral chakra first? Regardless, we've got the sacral chakra, the root chakra, the solar plexus, which is in our stomach. We've got the heart, the throat, the third eye, and then the crown, which is full integration of all of the rest of them. Hi.
This is Sid.
Hi, Sid.
3 or 4.
Hi.
What she does. Oh yeah, she fingers good too. What did you just drop now? Do you even know what you dropped? Okay. Oh, right there. Okay. Keep going.
And then they told us to close our eyes, and we worked through each one of the chakras and breathed into our nose and out of our nose. So we weren't releasing the energy out of our body fully. We were just continuing to build it up. And as we went through each chakra, they then guided us to, I'm sitting in my bed for this with my eyes closed, totally like meditating, by the way, but not laying down, just to paint the picture a little bit. And then they told us to imagine the stars above and to see a beam of light come down from the stars to the earth, and a beam of light from the earth to the stars through. So we've got the earth in the center, and we've got light coming from the stars above to the earth, and then from the core of the earth out back to the stars. Earth, beam of light going straight through it. That's what we're imagining. And what that was to do was to open the quantum up,
basically, to open portals, like I had said I was sensing was happening in the first reading. And then they had us imagine a phoenix, and the phoenix is a symbol of, rebirth, rising from the ashes, rising from pain, rebirth overall. Then they had us envision a hawk, which is the Native American bird for the symbol of power. And then they had us imagine a falcon, which has deep ancient Egyptian roots. And as we imagined the birds, we were to imagine them swirling, and we were to try to hear them if we could hear them, and engage all of the senses if possible. And then we were to see a light directly on the left temple, and to trade it over to the right temple, and to trade it over back to the left temple, and then to draw a line from the left temple to the right, and then up to the third eye, and then back to the left temple. And then what that does is gives us the outline for a pyramid, and a pyramid of light was built on my third eye, which is the chakra which can awaken the mind's eye, which is the way that we can touch into all of this. And then we were to set an intention. As the pyramid grew from my third eye to all around my body, where I'm sitting in a pyramid of light, basically. My whole body is protected by this pyramid of light. And in that, I set my intention, and my intention was to release all emotional attachments. And then they told us to picture the face of someone who loves you, that love brings pure joy to you. And from here, I'm going to stop contextualizing and explaining, and I'm just going to read it all the way straight through. So, I couldn't locate anyone, and that sent a wince of pain to the body, an immediate release once I noticed it. I returned to safety at 12th Street Beach on La Mia Piccola Isola. We were prompted then to notice our home, and my spirit immediately went to the place in the library, the place that was in my dream. We were told to envision a door on a wall where there wasn't one. I saw the bookcase from the dream, from the same vantage point that I had seen it in the dream, where I kissed my lover, and behind the book, where I kissed my lover behind the book, where I kissed my lover behind the book before someone, his sister, caught.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Well, I want him to hear this too, so I'm going to eat an apple. Anyone in the chat still there? Say hey if you are. Say hey, say what's up. Say I'm listening. Say I'm on my path to enlightenment. Say what kind of apple are you eating? Say whatever you want. I'm just going to eat the apple. I'm glad you're still here, Andrea. Glad. Yay. Glad you're still listening, Anna. Perfect. I just took a moment to eat a few apple slices and monologue, so this is fine by me.
You're good. I'm listening to the kids start to get cranky. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. I saw the bookcase from the vantage point that I'd seen it in my dream when my lover and I kissed behind the book before someone, his sister, caught us getting fresh. I could see the garden in either window below. I was alone. I was alone there this time, and I spawned the door. I opened the door in the bookshelf and went down the stairs as instructed. I saw the second door with the light behind it and confidently opened it. I appeared in the garden. I could see vast greenery, which went on forever. The flora made the space feel very canopy-like. I could see my elegant buckle shoes, and I was about the same age as I am now, 24. It was the 1600s, or about that, and there were people in the garden, but I couldn't talk to them. They wouldn't look me in the eye as they worked. I held a book close. It was thick, leather-bound, but lightweight. I sat by the bird bath and dipped my hand in the fountain. It was time to go inside, so I did. There was a drawbridge somewhere on the land, and the opening of the palace was so tall. Hall of Mirrors? Versailles?
Stop.
It was time to experience a different moment. Dining. There were people at the table, and I had questions to who they were. The room was dark lit. My lover looked down as he carried a crystal pitcher from the table, and I wanted to call out for him, but he served the man with an evil energy, who I saw from across the table.
It's late.
What was my relation to these figures? Was I the daughter of the gluttonous man which carried a dark energy? Or the woman with the big, intricately pinned black hair? The other man at the table, I believe we were to wed. I could taste pear and potatoes, and then suddenly I saw the sweet melanin rich man who I loved dearly being brutally lashed, and I gasped, and my body's energy grew stronger as I witnessed such brutality happening, and I knew it was my fault because I had loved him. They tried to make me whip him, and I would not. I didn't feel the trauma of this, though. The sudden memory brought shock. I was simply able to observe this memory play out while holding space in my spiritual protection. Then the moment instantly changed. It was the last day that I lived as this woman, and I saw myself on the day of my death. I was quite old, and I still had the book which I had written in shortly before my spirit left that life, where I had been an aristocrat princess with a forbidden love. I wrote my dying words. I, Karina, asked why I had seen what I saw, and the immediate answer came, which was that I was to make it right in my next lives. Those were the words. Let me read that one part right there. I wrote my dying words. I, Karina, asked why I had seen what I saw, and the immediate answer came, which was that I was to make it right in my next lives. Those were the words I had written before my spirit transitioned. I vowed to myself and to my interracial love that I would heal the earth's injustice created by those who shared my blood. My spirit transitioned to pure white light. I asked for the lesson, and the guides answered by telling me that I am the love that I was searching for. We landed in this mystical forest, my spirit and the guides. The fairy land was lush, green, with fungi, worms, wood that crackled with the sound of life moving within its safety. I picked up handfuls of rich, moist soil and rubbed it on my body. The spirit zipped through a trail to a waterfall. I was purely light. The waterfall filled up the pool of water by the rocks, and the water was so pure that I could drink it in its crisp healing qualities. I saw my light reflect back at me, and suddenly I formed as the man, nude in the water, healing as I drank the divine source. I, the man, walked to the bridge as instructed and called out for my guide to meet me in the middle of the wooden bridge. A doe appeared, and we connected through the eyes. We could sense each other so profoundly. The doe's fur had white spots, and as instructed, we embraced and allowed our hearts to touch as I caressed the doe's fur. Our hearts met and beat against one another. I asked the guide doe what was her name, and before I could finish asking, she responded, I am you. I am you. Before leaving, I was instructed to look down, as my guide left a box with a gift in it. I opened the box, and inside there was a gift indeed. The doe gave me back the leather-bound book from my past life. She wanted the man, me, to know I am you. So there's a lot there, like a lot. It was very vivid, very painful, and I have like a lot of interpretations of it. So unless do you have something right off that's jumping at you?
I mean, it's impressive that you saw the transition, that you saw the turnover of it from transition to transition. It's that's not 100%. Well, there is no normal, right?
Yeah.
The your experience is unique to you, and everybody has their own unique experiences with it. Mine was very different. It was more watching a movie, life over life over life, many times, and it was. I mean, there were times that I did it, and I just saw every way I died. I guess that was just a nice, cool joke for me. And I've died in some painful ways. But like, it's very interesting how it all just streamlines for you. You saw basically consecutive lives.
They also guided us through in a way that was really helpful because I wouldn't have known to heal. It's amazing how they brought us to that we were in the past life, and then they brought us to the experience of being able to ask, like, why am I here? What am I supposed to learn here? And for me, obviously, witnessing like the man that I loved, who I was forbidden to love, being brutalized is like really intense. But the reason why I was supposed to see that and to learn it from that was so that I could come back, in this life and others, which I'm not aware of yet, to heal and to guide the people of Earth, not alone, but as a collective, to realizing the ways that our own blood has brutalized others and to liberate ourselves from that, and to most importantly fucking liberate the people who we have been brutalizing all this time, because there's no point to it at all. It's disgusting, like it's wrong. And that's like the metaphor in that is very real, and it keeps going because I wasn't expecting the garden that they took us to. Like we went to the past life experience, we asked what the lesson was, and then we were to notice that we were supposed to live the last day of that life. And in my last day of life, I vowed in my book writing way in this life, like I was clearly a writer, and that was like what I did. I spent time reading books and writing, because what else does an aristocrat princess have to do? Nothing. Balance the books on her head? Like nothing. And so I focused on that. And the last words I had written in the life was that I would make it right. Like I vowed to it. And I've kept that vow, or I've tried my best. And then once my like body transitioned, or my soul transitioned rather, they guided us into the forest space. But what I find the most amazing about this experience is that I became the man in the garden. I became the man in the forest where I was drinking the water. I was purely light, and then my body turned into form as the man that I loved. And he was there alone, looking in the water, and he met the spirit guide at the bridge, and the doe left a box. And in the box was the book that I wrote when I was a princess. So the spirit guide gave the man who was brutalized because of me the book that I wrote, and I asked the doe what the doe's name was, and it was I Am You. So I literally have lived as the man that I love, that I have always longed for,
And in this life, my challenge is clinging emotionally, specifically to men, specifically to Black men in my life. I've always been attracted to, I always go to, and I've always looked for some kind of like fulfillment, not in a way to cause harm, quite the opposite, in a way that was like, I want to give everything to you. I want to give everything to you. Like I want to love you and want you to love me the way I love you. But I am him, the person that I've always been searching for. And so I don't have to cling to anything because I am that person. And other people can come and go from my life now. I know this. Like other people can come and go from my life, and on their soul's journey we can meet and leave each other and have it be okay, because I already am everything I've always longed for. And it's just taken me a certain amount of pain to be able to realize it. So the metaphor in that is like if I didn't experience it as like real to me in my life, like I would want to watch that as a movie. Like maybe I'll make that a movie or something, because that shit is deep. Like that was really, really deep.
It definitely be a good movie. The other thing I'm going to say is, don't just go looking in Clubhouse for people to walk you through past lives.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's the
because
thing is I opened it and I was the first one there. And as we had conversation about other things, like about their mission to, like we were just having conversation about something else. They are on a mission for like Child Rescue Coalition, and they were sharing about that. And the more that we talked, like I do get a good sense about people being an empath in that way. So I felt safe and trusted, and I needed to trust myself to let myself experience that. But I think as a general rule of thumb, you're right that it's not like a good idea to seek that out in a place like that.
it's okay. Not everybody has your level of intuition, and not everybody is aware enough to your level of intuition. The key is you need to find a healer. You need to find a spiritual guide, somebody that you trust and that build a bond with. When I did my original past life regressions, it was 2008, and I had somebody show me how to do one, and then me, in my most obsessive compulsive way possible, I did it on myself for 8.5 hours straight.
Oh my God.
It was literally torture. It was like self-torture. It was like watching a movie that never ended. But it was like, for me, I got to a point where I was able to guide myself through it, and although I didn't know what I was doing, I grounded myself, and I had a person there that was keeping me grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there was lots of bathroom breaks and eating breaks for that person, but you know, it was extensive. It was really extensive, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. But I also was at a point where I was very in tune to what I wanted, right? And I was very awake to that. Now it's even clearer than it was, but it's taken me a long time to get here. And this isn't, I mean, this isn't, if you're not grounded right, and you're not with somebody you trust, and you're not in a situation of trust, it can be dangerous.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can definitely get lost in the spirit realm. You can definitely get lost outside of your body. You can definitely get lost in these things, or you could just get stuck, right? And we are spiritual beings living a human experience.
Yeah.
But the human experience is what grounds us, right? So, and I'm not saying anybody should or shouldn't do anything,
Right. It's just that you need to be aware of that if it is something you want to do.
You need to understand what you're doing, and you need to have some. Typically, you want to have somebody that you trust with you.
Yeah. And you know what the best part was though? Like in that vein is that yesterday my entire day was about trust. I had started the day with a blank piece of paper that had said only the word trust. And then I did a dance performance of drawing on that while dancing trust, and just kept going deeper and deeper into it. And the only reason why I was felt so safe in my space to embark on that journey was because I was with someone that I trusted, and it was me. Like, I was with my spirit, and I felt that spirit all day long, so I was able to do that. But it's definitely important to have, like, physically people that are trustworthy or that you can trust in guiding, like, through these kinds of things. At least I could see that that's a real I mean, it's like when you do like shrooms or something, you're supposed to have a trip sitter. So it's like the same kind of idea, I guess. Like, you can kind of get lost if you don't have someone there to take care of you.
For lack of other description, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that, but yeah.
Trip sitter for the spirit realm.
There you go. It's, you know, I know a lot of people don't want to believe this is a real. I know that a lot of people can't fully go all in on this. I know a lot of people are scared of their own power, scared of themselves.
I like was that person. So that's the other thing, you know, like
most people are, even I am still at times, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, But the thing is, here's the thing. Let's say that didn't happen, and let's say that I wasn't actually that person, and that I didn't live that life. Something in my consciousness created that scenario. Then, if it didn't actually happen to me and it wasn't me remembering it, something was created by my opening my spirit so deeply that I could
It's really late.
be just in a place mentally, or not even, I wasn't in a place mentally. That's the thing. I had transcended all mind tools of emotion and thought or ideas. Like, you transcend that when you're in this headspace or this space in general. And it's a very ancient practice for another part. It's not like this is like a new idea by any means. We just have all been robbed of it, because with colonialization comes the colonialization of the mind, and that's the most evil trick in the book. Our minds are colonized. So, like, I understand if a person like hears this and is like, you're talking a bunch of bullshit. And even if it didn't happen as a memory, and even if it didn't happen as my past life, I am not talking bullshit, because the thing that came to be from the experience was a level of deep consciousness, deep understanding my purpose here. Like, my purpose here is deliberately to create art so that I can engage on a level of soul understanding with others that actually ends the cycle of abuse altogether. Like, with others as a collective, we can make that possible. And so, even if it's not my past life, it's not bullshit. And even if it's not my past life, it's real, because we're making it real by bringing it into the conversation. It's real now because it's here. Like, I've shared it. It's a real thing.
You know, during a spiritual journey, you're going to question many things: is real or not real. You're going to question yourself in many different ways. What am I doing with this? It's empty. You need to throw it away? Okay. I'm live, so can you give me a minute? Your iPad's been charging. Go check on it. Be quiet with the doors, though, please. Anyway, that was my negotiation tactic. We'll see how long that. Don't unplug it. It'll die again. You got to leave it plugged in, Sid.
Does anyone in the chat have anything to add or ask or say or anything like that? Because that was definitely a heavy sharing experience. So I want to make sure everyone else gets the chance, if they're still with us, to share also if they want to. But I definitely think that what you just said is true, that there's one thing I know for certain, and it's that I know nothing for certain. And that's never going to change. But I do believe that it is real, even if it's not a certain statement.
Kelly, are you still out there? I'm just curious because you have a unique experience. I mean, everybody has their own unique experience, right? Like this spirit experience or soul experience has a habit of meeting us where we're able to handle it. And since everybody has a different level, right? So there's ways that it comes across that, you know, we would relate, understand, and be able to handle it however it comes to us.
That's the thing. Like, it's our spirit. The word spirit and the word soul have like such loaded connotations that I usually just prefer to use consciousness, because consciousness is everything. Everything is conscious. And so, like, consciousness itself would only ever be able to present to us what we're capable of understanding. I explained it to a friend recently in a way that I feel made a lot of sense. And that was like, I had said, if you were in a train car and you were looking at a book so intensely and you were just like buried in this book, and then some person walked in the same train car as you and like stabbed someone, if you were like so distracted by what you were fixated on, you wouldn't have noticed that. If you had headphones in, if you were, you know, looking deeply into the distraction of whatever it was, you wouldn't have noticed it. So it's about our awareness of what's happening to be able to experience the consciousness that is presenting itself to us. And if we're able to be aware of that consciousness, like, we notice everything and we notice ourselves noticing everything. And that's noticing the noticing. Awareness of awareness is consciousness in its purest form. Because even anger or guilt or whatever is consciousness, but it's not pure. Pure is the consciousness that transcends everything else.
Well, and it's vibration frequencies, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Everything has its own vibration level. Like unconditional, agape, Ubuntu love. You know, like that's level of frequency. And then there's variation from there down. Anger, hate, you know, manipulation, lies, any of those things. Low vibration, right? Hating for us is low. So it's, you know, it's all about finding your frequency and being able to level your frequency up the best that you can day over day, so that you make incremental changes. So as things evolve, they evolve in that forward direction.
Absolutely.
Sid, stop. I gotta get this kid to sleep.
I was about to say, I feel very content with the level of depth that we've achieved. So I really appreciate you hearing that story and connecting everybody who tuned in. That was awesome. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, and others will watch it because they're all tagged on it, and it's
Be grateful. I promise you, it won't last forever. And I know that that's like not fair for me to say because I don't have a kid at all, so I don't know at all what you're going through. Like,
feel free to babysit.
oh, all right. Nah.
I'll drop all three off to you on my way down.
We would have so much fun. I love kids because I think I still am one. Not like age-wise.
Not only that, you're able to return them.
Yeah, that's another part of it.
Is when you're not able to return them.
Yeah,
When
I've
you're-
got like my face like kind of turned immediately to disgust.
Yeah.
Like the idea.
Stop. Go to bed, please. You need to
Oh, see how can you say? But I love you. Oh. All right, I'm gonna let you take care of this child.
She kept me up till 12:30 last night
Oh my god.
and was up at 6. And this is her right now at 9 o'clock at night. Stop. It's not something to stand on. All right. I got to take care of this kid.
All right. Well, have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you.